Good evening, everybody. This is Robin here with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guest tonight she's a singer, a filmmaker, an actress, Celeste Blandon. How's it going, Celeste?
Hi, it's going great. How are you?
Pretty good. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's talk about Torrey Jones. All of his films are so fun. Every time I watch them, they're golden. You're part of his new film I can't wait to see, Phantom Fun World. Can you tell me a little bit about Phantom Fun World?
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be working with Torrey. Well, to have worked with him on this one. I've been watching his films for a while, so it was really cool to actually get to take part in one. So Phantom Fun World, it's a super cool horror flick, kind of a slasher, but it takes place in an abandoned amusement park, which is fun. And also there's arcades. There's lots of I don't know. I don't want to give too much away.
Don't give much. It's amusement park and arcades and a scary monster. Just do it like that.
Yeah. There's a scary killer, and we're on the run, man. Yeah.
And plus, who's also in that film with you, too, is Spooky Madison.
Yes! Spencer, a.k.a. Spooky Madison, is my good friend that I met on that shoot. She plays my best friend in the film, and so we met and we hit it off right away. I love that girl, and I love the entire family that I made basically being on that film. I met most of my friend group currently from doing that film. I'm eternally grateful for that.
How were you attracted to the role? Did Torrey reach out to you, or did you audition?
Yeah, so Torrey reached out to me, asking me if I was interested in auditioning for the film. And basically, once we exchanged some messages and I had shown him my reel, we got to know each other and see I asked him, what would be the best character for me to read for kind of situation. And it was very quickly realized that I basically am Andy. And I even knew that that was more solidified for me really once I read the script. Once I read the script, it was weird. It was like he was writing the character as if she was me, even though we didn't know each other. So it was super weird. She speaks like me. She has a lot of the same relationships that I've had in my life and just different circumstances that I could really relate to. So it was odd. It was like destiny that we were meant to be a thing.
Yeah, they have a test of the music score that was on their Facebook page. That music score, I'm a fan of horror film scores, and that one was just real creepy and traumatizing a little bit at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. Frank, which is our composer, is amazing. He's also the one who produced Champagne Hangovers, which is my song that's out currently. I have 2 songs out right now, but he produced one of them. We'll be working on future projects together as well. But it's funny because I kept hearing all of his scores on all of the films I've worked on in the past year. There have now been 3 films in the last year that, also he ended up composing for Susie Q also. So that's 4 films in the last year. And for your amusement, so maybe 5. It's just crazy. We keep working on the same projects together. So I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I've got a song. And so, yeah, it's crazy how even the film brought us together as well.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to sing Champagne Hangovers. I can't wait to hear that from your phenomenal voice.
Oh, thank you.
You better love it. Let's talk about Susie Q. It's been going around the film festival. You were at Days of the Dead film festival showing it. Now you're going to be coming and showing it to Horror Hound coming in March. Without spoiling it, can you tell me a little bit about Susie Q? What I saw, it kind of reminded me of Buffy, Scooby-Doo, all in one with a little comical side to it.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good description of it. We literally call it our Scooby-Doo ripoff, and that's why it's called Susie Q, Where Are You? Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And then I would say there's a little sprinkle of, darn, let's see, maybe like a little dazed and confused in there.
Ooh, I like that. Is there like any?
Yeah.
Is there any Susie Q snacks?
Um, there is a snack that is mentioned in the film, which is called a Wiley's Milky Bar, which is actually a chocolate bar that we named after one of our producers, who's also in the film and our editor as well. Like, he did a lot for our film, and we just felt like naming the chocolate bar after him. So, yeah.
So how did you guys come up with the film? I know you're part of it too. Are you part of the filmmaking part of it as well?
Yeah, so my boyfriend and I have our own production company. It's called Simpatico Pictures. And so basically pretty much anything we create together. We normally write together. We sit down, we come up with an idea, and then we literally will sit side by side at a computer and just bounce ideas off of each other and type it in. And then he always directs. I'm not really comfortable with directing. I like to stick to the acting, and then I also like to do the hair and makeup because that's another thing that I do. I'm a licensed cosmetologist and then also a professional makeup artist, so I'm like, if I get to play with that kind of stuff, like, he can do all the directing. I'll make sure everyone's pretty.
Oh my gosh, makeup artist. How did you get into that? That sounds like fun.
Yes, it's so fun. I love it. I love to just see people, like, seeing themselves for the first time all made up. I'd say I started doing my own makeup when I was probably about 13 and really, like, getting into it. And then by the time I was 16, I started doing all of my friends' makeup and hair for their proms.
Aww.
And it was funny. There were, like, scheduled out blocks throughout the day that everyone would come before the dance and get ready. Yeah, my mom was a makeup artist, so she influenced me kind of to get into that whole kind of thing.
That's awesome. So how supportive of are your parents, you filmmaking and being in all kinds of great films?
I'm very fortunate because my parents have been very supportive the whole way. Basically, like, once I said, you know, this is what I want to do, and I just showed them that, like, I really did mean it, like, they have always been supportive. And my mom was in the arts as well. It's really funny because my mom was a makeup artist and she was also a theater major. So, hence, hello, she's my idol. Here we are.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I bet she probably wants to act in some of your films too.
Yes!
You should get her to act in one of your films. Make her like a scream queen.
She's made a cameo once. She was the 911 operator in a very old film of ours.
Ooh. Oh, you got to make her a scream queen just one time.
Yes, we gotta bring it. Hear that, Mimi?
Oh, that's cute, Mimi. I like that. That's a cool name instead of saying, "Hey, Mom."
No, we love the Mimi. She's a glam mom. She's not your average mom.
Boy, she sounds like fun. I wouldn't mind meeting her.
Oh, you'll meet her in March for sure. She'll definitely be going. She's like my number one fan.
Nice. Can't wait.
She'll be there for sure.
Oh, wait till she gets a load of me.
Oh, she's gonna love you.
I know, right?
I don't know if I'll get either of you back from each other.
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, she'll be like my new best friend.
Yes.
I was creeping on your social media a little bit too. You just auditioned for a role in Bad Apples. I know it's not out or anything. Can you tell me a little bit about Bad Apples? What's that all about?
Yeah, so Bad Apples is a film that actually, so once again, coming from Phantom Fun World, I met the director of Bad Apples on Phantom Fun World. He was a producer, and then he acts in Phantom Fun World as well. So we met there, and he had reached out to me, like, a little bit down the line. I had read the first draft. I was interested, and now that it's kind of coming to fruition fully and everything, he reached back out, and yeah, we ended up both very interested. It's a very cool project. It's different. It's scary because it's very real.
How real? What do you mean by real? Explain real.
So there's not really supernatural elements.
Oh.
Like, I can see these things happening, and that's really scary.
Oh my gosh, now you have my attention. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see that. I love supporting indie films, especially horror. I like it all. I love supporting indie films. I love it because you get all these talented, actresses, directors, writers, and they put their heart and soul into that perfect film. And I think there's some indie films that are just as way better than some of the mainstream Hollywood films out there too.
I agree. I feel like there are a lot of maybe quote unquote unknown names who have just as much heart, maybe even more, and really put themselves into it. And there's just so much power behind a lot of these indie films. I really appreciate them as well and fully support them.
I mean, they're fun. I mean, there's a lot of good talent, like what we talked about earlier. Tory Jones, he's just been busting out some good films. I mean,
oh yeah,
I'm just like amazed. He's also going to be at Horror Hound 2 showing one of his films.
Yeah, showing They See You, which is his latest release, and I'm very excited to see it on the big screen.
Oh,
I've already watched it a few times on the small screen, but I'm ready for that.
Yeah, I watched it on the small screen a few times too. I got the Blu-ray from my library collection. I have this impressive physical media library collection. If you saw it, you would flip. You're like, how do you watch all those movies?
Yeah, I love that though. There's just something so nice about having the physical copy of something.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you really love it, it's nice to have that, and you're supporting the filmmaker like to the highest degree, really.
So, what was it like for you to work with Tory Jones?
So I absolutely love Tory. He's awesome. I'm looking forward to working with him again here in the future very soon.
Nice.
So there's that. But we get along really well. He's very fun to work with, and he's very supportive and allows me to really... He provides me with good feedback and everything, but he also gives me room to really express myself and breathe life into his character, and so it's a good match.
I know, I can tell. And like I said, do you know when it's supposed to be coming out yet, or is it still in editing stage, or?
Yeah, it's currently in post-production. However, I believe he said we're getting close to being completely picture locked, if I'm correct.
Okay.
So, he says that later this year we probably should have it done and premiering at some point, maybe in the fall, summer, somewhere in there.
Man, that's so long to wait. I mean, I see the behind the scenes pictures and everything, and I like the creature, and I like the mask they created of the creature, and it's like, come on, man, I want to see it now. I don't want to wait till the fall. Come on.
And then even being in it, like, I haven't gotten to see the scenes yet. Like, aside from the trailer, that's what I've gotten to see, so I'm dying. I tried to convince him. He came down for Days of the Dead.
Uh-huh.
So, Tori, if you're listening to this, you better believe that I'm gonna be on you at Horror Hound. Like, okay, let me see it. He said that I might get to see what they've got right now. During Days of the Dead.
I'm so jealous you get to see that. Boo.
Yeah, well, magically, he was tired and going to bed instead of showing us the movie.
What? If I was a film director and if you were in my film, I would be showing it to my crew. I'd be like, I wouldn't be going to bed. I'd be like, come into my hotel room. I'm going to show you all this. And then after it's done, get out of my room so I can go to sleep.
Yeah, get out of here.
Can't you just picture Tori just saying that? Get out of here.
Yeah. Sounds like a Tory thing, for sure.
Yeah, take a Jonestown Productions t-shirt with you, too.
Hey, yes.
It's like just go now. I've never been to a Days of the Dead film festival before. I've been to the conventions. So what's the Days of the Dead film festivals like? How much fun are they?
So they're super fun. I really like the film festival side of things. It's at the same time as the convention, which a lot of people don't realize that both are going on at the same time too. So it's nice, especially as a filmmaker, to attend the film festival because you're connected with a bunch of other filmmakers that you haven't met before. who are working in the same genre, but they've all got their own visions, so you learn a lot from each other, and you find potential people to work with in the future and to collaborate with, so it's very cool. You learn a lot, and you get very inspired.
That's what I like about the Whorehound Film Festival. I put it up there with Nightmares Film Festival. Those are my two favorite film festivals of all time. And last year at Whorehound, it's the same thing. You know, you got the Convention Film Festival. So I was mostly at the film festival most of the time. I was networking, meeting some cool people, getting some cool interviews. Oh, yeah. And then little after parties, you know, just having fun, people watching all the genetic freaks and the nice people roaming around. You're imagining going, they exist?
Yeah.
And then, of course, karaoke. I better see you do some karaoke in that Whorehound in March.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was so bummed out they didn't have it at Days of the Dead. But I'm getting ready for Whorehound's karaoke, bringing the Billie Eilish back.
Oh, are you really? Billie Eilish?
Yes.
Ooh.
All I have to say is I'm a bad guy.
You're the bad guy?
Duh.
Oh, duh. I thought you meant you're like the bad guy, like Razor Ramon. No, I'm just kidding. You know who Razor Ramon is, right?
Oh, yeah.
The one's like, hey, Chico, you want to mess with the bad guy? That's cool. You sing some Billie Eilish. How did you get into singing? I saw a couple of videos of yours. You got that phenomenal voice. Are you thinking about, pursuing more of your singing as well, or you're going to be mostly focusing on more of filmmaking and acting?
Yeah, so, funny story. I started out as a singer, I would say. I've been acting off and on since I was, maybe 10 or something. I don't know, but I left that all behind, as soon as I started, aside from doing, music videos and stuff for people that I was basically opening for their band, and then they'd be like, hey, you want to be the girl in my music video or whatnot? So, when I was in high school, I think when I turned 14, I quit dance to focus fully on music, and that's around the time that I started writing and doing music, but I kind of quit and ended up discovering my love for filmmaking and being an actor, and now I'm kind of interested in the music again, but not in the same way I was before. Okay. Maybe now it's more of it's not something I would want to make my career. It's more of something that's an arts and crafts kind of situation.
Oh my gosh, come on now, we're not at summer camp now.
Basically, just imagine me sitting there cutting out the little paper people that are stuck together. That's how it is for me. It's something that I enjoy, that I have fun with, but I don't take it too seriously, I guess.
I know something you can do. You can write a song for my theme song for Horror Pop After Midnight. How's that?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm there for that.
Yeah, I'm looking for a theme song.
Ooh, okay. Well, we should get Frank in on this too.
Yeah, something.
Make a little theme song.
Oh yeah, something really cool. That's what I'm looking for. I mean, because on my podcast, there's no theme song or no, score or anything, and I just go straight on. But I want to have I want a cool singer that sings a cool song, and people listen to it. It's real catchy to be like, that's a badass song, and I like that singer Celeste Blandon who sings it. That girl rocks. That's what they're gonna be saying once they hear that song about Horror Pop After Midnight.
Well, I'm totally game for this. We're doing this thing.
Yes. So when you're not singing, writing, acting, what does Celeste do? What do you do for fun? Does Celeste have any cool hobbies? Besides hanging out with your hot boyfriend?
Yes, I do have a hot boyfriend, so
Hey,
we like to go to the movies a lot.
Oh, really?
I know that's so cliche, but I spend a lot of time going to the movies. I consider it research, so that's my excuse. Oh,
really? Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait to meet your boyfriend. He's going to get a big hug from me.
Okay.
He'll be like, why is this person hugging me?
Just hold on really really tight.
I will. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm leaving the Titanic. See, this is my podcast.
Yeah.
I love to have fun. We can talk about anything. I mean, anything. So when you go see movies at the theater to do research, what type of films do you see that gives you that research and those great ideas? Is it like mostly horror, or is it like drama, indie drama, comedy, or what?
I mean, I love all genres, really. I don't have any genre that I really dislike, and we'll see pretty much anything if we think it looks good. And I feel like it helps us both as actors. He's also an actor. And then also with writing. But I would say mostly what we personally create is horror and then comedy horror crossovers.
Ooh.
So mostly watching those kinds of movies just because that's what our focus is. But we'll watch anything, really. Anything that makes me feel something. If a movie can make me cry or laugh so hard that I cry, then I'm there for it.
That's awesome. I like to watch a film where you get invested with the character. It's like you're seeing through their eyes in the film, you know. Some films are like that and some not. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm invested in this character. I can feel what they're going through and stuff, you know. I'm a sucker for that. And I'm also a sucker for good cinematography. Cinematography is like very important in the film. And I always love talking about cinematography. I mean, I consider that like a character in a film too.
Oh, definitely. It conveys the mood of the film, and really, like, if you've got bad cinematography, it's hard to see past it. It's very distracting when there's not good camera work, really. And also the lighting. The lighting factors into that, and the coloring. Like, there's so many factors that make a film good. Like, it's not all about the actors, though. That's a very important part. It's not all about even the cinematography. Like, you've got the sound. If the sound's off, then it throws the whole thing off. Bad hair and makeup. That's a big one for me. If I see bad hair and makeup, I cannot.
Is that like a pet peeve? Do you go, no, you're not going on that until I fix that?
Yeah, like, also, I have done a few films where I'm one of the lead actors, and then also I'm the hair and makeup artist as well, and, like, I'm very particular about how everyone looks. I'm not letting anyone go out there looking silly. Like, that is not okay with me. When I'm watching a film, sometimes there are certain lower budget films where you can tell they skimped out on getting a makeup artist, or maybe the makeup artist wasn't great and things are looking cakey and no,
like
I can't.
Like cakey and melting, or it's like bad lighting. You're trying to watch this cool indie film you're invested in, and like you talked about bad lighting, it's like, oh my gosh, this is like watching a film on the Sci-Fi Channel with the bad lighting. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen a sci-fi movie and the lighting's so bad through the whole movie it's almost like dark, and they try to make it light but it's dark? It's like, come on, man. I want to see the surroundings. I want to see the character's face. I don't want to see this pitch dark.
Yeah, and it is really important too what you're saying about like seeing the characters. That's something that irks me too, is like I want to see how that character is feeling, because it makes me feel something. Whatever the character's feeling is what I'm gonna feel. So, like, that's very important. Yeah.
You're like, ah. No, you're like, ah. It's like, get it right. That's why I get ideas and make my films good.
Yes.
Since you and your boyfriend have your own production company, how'd you come up with that name? Is there like a story to it? Because most production companies will have like unique names. You'd be like, what? I wonder if they came up with a story with that, or they just out of want to be like, okay, I'm going to call it Full Moon Pictures. You know, like how they Full Moon Pictures, or you know, the Pizzazz Productions or something.
I'm gonna steal that one. We're gonna change our name to Pizzazz Productions now.
Hey, it's catchy, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you can't wait to watch a film from Pizzazz Productions." It's catchy.
Hey, it's got a lot of pizzazz. I'm just saying. So Simpatico Pictures is the name of our production company, and this is gonna sound so weird.
Okay.
But, we only started making our own films since the pandemic happened.
Okay.
We had moved to LA, and that was a month and a half before the pandemic started. So a month and a half into living there, everything shuts down. So as actors, like, we're freaking out. There's nothing to do. So we're like, let's make our own content. Let's just do this ourselves. So one night when he was asleep, I was thinking on names and stuff, and I'm trying to think. I think it might have been the Lana Del Rey Gods and Monsters video. I can't remember to the exact which one of her videos, but I remember she's doing one of her little poetry things where she's like speaking beautifully as she does. And she said the word simpatico, and I like looked that up. I'm like, what is simpatico? When I found out it's like when things work really well together, I was like, okay, that's like he and I, with the adventure we're about to embark on, making our own stuff. And I just knew right away that we'd be a good team. So I was kind of like, okay, I ran that by him. And then we decided to go with the yin and yang symbol, but as koi fish, because, yeah, yin and yang is basically simpatico as well.
Alrighty.
Thus, Simpatico Pictures was born.
Awesome. So where can everybody find you on social media? Of course, Simpatico Pictures, of course.
Yeah, most definitely. So you can find Simpatico Pictures on Instagram and also on YouTube. Also, you can find me, Celeste Blandon, on Instagram and YouTube as well. I do TikTok sometimes, but not really. I'm sticking to the Instagram Reels, I think.
Oh, that's the way to be. Thank you so much for coming on.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Robin.
All right. Everybody have a great evening.